Hi, J-Bo here. I'm just entering this woods walk for part 3 of our woods walk gun talk, episode 3. We'll see how long the battery lasts in this GoPro. This is an upgrade from the camera that we were using. And I have the linear setting with horizontal correction and also stabilization boost, so it should be nice and smooth while I'm walking and not jerking around. The downside is the battery won't last as long, but hopefully I can get the discussion in that I would like to do while I walk through here as we look at all the pine cones that feed the animals. And we had a bumper crop of acorns this year from all the rain we had. And the trees are all just about defoliated now. And I do have this camera mounted on my chest, just under my pectorals. So I'm going to cruise along here, just walk through my woods hike on a Friday. And so gun talk. Well, there was a channel on YouTube discussing AK-47s and how they are now a vintage antique obsolete firearm. And I'm like, no, that is not the case. Definitely not, because they are not obsolete. Well, I have to go see what the heck this is, because this should not be here. I have no idea what this is. That looks like what is that, a sleeping bag? That is exactly what that is. That is a sleeping bag. But you're not supposed to do that here. And we get some other stuff down here. So I'm going to improvise our woods walk and see why this is even here. This looks like trash bags. Oh, looks like some people came out here and partied in the woods, is what it looks like. Among other things. Looks like they had some kind of carry bag, blankets. They were smoking cigarettes and drinking beer and probably doing other adult things in the woods that they should not be doing here. So anyway, AK-47s. Supposedly obsolete, antiquated, and that is a bunch of malarkey, as our idiot commander-in-chief would say. And the reason why I say that is we had that mass shooting here in Lewiston with Robert Card shooting up the damn place and killing people, unfortunately, as well as he was armed with an AR-10 and an AR-15. I still haven't had it made clear by the media or otherwise if he used the AR-10 or the AR-15. I can't make it out from the photographs, the grainy security photographs. But anyway, I don't live that far from the bowling alley that was shot up. It's in my neighborhood, basically. And there were helicopters circling overhead. And so I turned all the lights off in the house so I wouldn't make a target for somebody just randomly walking around shooting people, which is what you should do as well. That's not expert advice, that's just common sense. And so I had my mobile devices trying to get updates from the local law enforcement and news agencies. And so with that, we had, let me get back on the trail here. All these leaves down here covers up the trail. So anyway, with that being said, I was sitting in the kitchen with an AK-47 and a Ruger Mini 14. I had both of them loaded up fully, several 30-round magazines, and I chose the AK-47 as the #1 go-to because it has more stopping power than an AR-15 223 round. And also, it had soft points, pointed soft points. And that puts it comparable with a 30-30 as far as velocity goes. And that's that term, velocity. You need to watch a Paul Harrell video on velocity that he has to explain what that is. Ammo companies use velocity. It's a different measurement. But anyway, ballistically, they're similar. They're not the same, they're not equal, but they're similar. And my brother and I shoot watermelons and we shoot all kinds of stuff. I prefer the 30-30. He likes the 30-30. But the 7.62 by 39 soft points do just about the same thing. He swears it does a little bit less, and I'll argue that maybe that's the case, but they're close enough, in my opinion. There isn't enough difference to make a difference, as somebody else on YouTube is fond of saying. And so anyway, I didn't feel like I was holding an antiquated, vintage, antique, out-of-date, obsolete self-defense weapon when I was wondering if somebody was going to start shooting at me through the windows or kick the door in, looking for a place to hide, or hanging out in the shed out back. Because it's like most people in Maine, a lot of things are left unlocked. And even if it is locked, it's not like you know, an armored safe or anything. Most people's sheds, you can get into it if you want to. So anyway, I would have to argue that the AK-47 is not obsolete, even though it is old. And you have to consider that the AR-15 format is also old, from the 1950s. So you would have to say that the AR-15 is antique, vintage, out of date, just modernized. That is an argument for a different day, but I know there's some validity to that. There really has not been any huge, significant technological changes or advances in delivery style for commercially available self-defense weapons. There's been some innovative redesigns, but basically everybody's redesigning the same thing, or improving it, or making something work better on it than it did in the past. So that's my take on that. I felt very safe sitting in my kitchen with an AK-47 made by Riley Defense, not a particularly extravagantly expensive one, but it functions, it works. It never misfires, it never jams, it always works. And that's what you want. And it shoots accurately. Once you get past the horrible iron sights on it, which I don't like. I don't like the ones on ARs either. probably look great when you're 20 years old, but when you're 55, not so much. So this is that steep hill I go up here. You can see how beautiful this is out here. You can see why I like to walk through here and enjoy some nature. We're in the second largest city in the state, and fortunate enough, we're any 3 or 4 miles in any direction, you have woods to walk through, lakes, things like that. About 5 miles out in Auburn, you can rent boats. So anyway, we're walking through, and we're getting renewed calls for quote-unquote assault rifle bans, which is a made-up term. And if you look it up on X or Facebook, look up AP Style Book. That's the Associated Press. AP Style Book, that's the name of the account. They publish the official, it's the official like journalist manual on this is what we're going to call stuff kind of thing. And they plainly, in plain English, tell the journalist not to use assault rifle, not to use assault weapon, because it is an incendiary term and not factually accurate. So they even admit it doesn't exist and they made it up. So there's that. And excuse me. That's just the truth of that. They basically know what they're doing, okay? As we look at these really cool, I wanted to get shots of this summer, but it was all brush in here and mosquitoes. Now you can see past storms we've had uprooted these large trees right out of the ground, and they put some logs in there. This place is maintained by the Stanton Bird Club, and these little things give critters places to live, little chipmunks. So anyway, they are going after the guns. They're going to be relentless, and they're not going to stop with anything that they're doing. That has been clear. If you're sitting around just going, you know, like the Canadians did, and go, well, we'll get him at the next election. We'll get him at the next. I got too much stuff to do. I'm going to sit on my couch eating popcorn, watching old movies. What can I do about this? Well, you could be a thorn in your elected people's sides. I like to think I am. I've even had the state capitol police call me up because a local representative from Lewiston didn't like what I had to say to him. I called him a communist. I said he was un-American. I said, you're not going to take my rights away from me. And I told him that I was going to go to his house on a public sidewalk with a bullhorn, like Black Lives Matter did, because that's the First Amendment protected free speech. Well, he didn't like that. He called the Capitol Police, said he felt threatened. So they called me up, and I told them off too. That was a couple, 3 years ago. And you have to understand, they work for you, and you have the law. And there's nothing they can do about it. They can try to intimidate you, they can threaten you, but they can't do anything about it. I didn't make any direct threats, and I never would. You always have to be legal. So anyway, I just called Congressman Jared Golden's office because he's done a 180 on gun control. He is the only Democrat ally we had, and now he's gone. Since the shooting in Lewiston, he's done a 180. So he wants to see, quote, assault rifles banned. So he's either been bought, because he's, a lot of work, especially while talking. Apologize for that. But he probably needs money for next year election, because they have to raise $1 million a year. And he probably hasn't been getting very much locally, because he's sitting in a red seat that was stolen by ranked choice voting anyway. The Republican won that election. That's the point I'm making. But they divvied up the independent votes and gave them to the Democrat. And he stole the seat. He didn't win. That was 2018. Mainers have since rejected ranked choice voting, and they don't participate in it, because you don't have to vote for everybody on your ballot. So you don't have to have your vote go for the enemy. And people have figured that out. They should have just done runoff elections, which we have going on here in Lewiston for the mayoral election. The Republican did very well. The Democrat did surprisingly not well. And all you hear in the media is how the Republicans keep losing. But if you look at the local elections, we're not losing. New York just had some really major deep blue upsets that went Republican this week. And the media has not talked about it, so you don't know about it. Look it up. New Yorkers are shocked. But I'm not. So people are sick of this. They're sick of people going after their guns, their rights, their liberties. And people are going to do something about it. Your vote matters. You have to vote. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this talk. Let's see how much time I got left. Oh, I got plenty of battery. Plenty of time. Well, lucky you. I get to yak some more. I'm just playing it safe. In case I was out of battery, it'd be a good place to end it. Whew. It's about 40 degrees today. And it is cloudy, chilly, cold. But I am sweating my can off. So we're going shooting tomorrow. And leave your commentary in the comment section on whether or not you like the GoPro view like this, or if you prefer my selfie stick with me doing a selfie stream. Now, a lot of people don't like selfie streams. And a lot of people like me don't like doing selfie streams, because then it makes it about me and look at me, look how popular I want to be on YouTube. And I just want to talk about things. But I'll do either or, whatever you want. This is Woods Walk number 3. The first one was with a selfie stick pointed at myself. And the second one was with a rather shaky, less expensive camera strapped to my head. And now we have a more expensive GoPro strapped to my chest, which unfortunately, where it is, I can't really monitor it while I'm walking. That's the thing. At least with the selfie, I can record myself. But that's a nice looking fireplace. It's got some green moss starting to grow on it. And we're getting about just the time. We had our first snow yesterday, which didn't stick. and we're going to have some winter weather at some point. And when that happens, I'm going to drop my walking and hiking dramatically. Not because of the cold, but because of ice, snow, being 55. If I slipped on some ice and blew my groin out now, I would be disabled for a year or two. So I did that stuff when I was in my 20s, and it laid me up for a while playing ice hockey. So anyway, this is good exercise. I weighed myself yesterday. I'm the lowest weight I've been since my 20s. I'm very happy about that. I lost a lot of weight this year. Not that I had a lot to lose, but you know, I had about 20 to 30 pounds to lose. You'd have to understand that I'm 6'4", and I've gone from 265 down to about 237. And things fit like they should. I feel very healthy. And so anyway, we're going shooting tomorrow. And it should be really fun to bring this. And that's another reason why I am walking with this today as a test. This is using the horizon stability. So actually, if I fell over on the ground and was lying on my side, it would try to straighten out the horizon to look normal. That's basically the setting I have. And it works very well because the stabilizing feature boosts those on. And when I walk like this, it's not jumping up and down. Everything is smooth and fluid. And the battery seems to be doing okay. So we're going to try this out tomorrow while shooting. Now, while shooting, it's going to be mounted on the head or the headband. Because, wow, that looks really cool, damp. That mold. It looks like I am in old Britain in those old Hammer films. Those horror movies where everything's covered with green mold and moss. With leaves. And they're all wearing feathered caps and double barrel shotguns. And they release the hounds. So, I'm a fan of those movies. So that's what it reminded me of. So anyway, this is a wet seat to sit on that I'm not going to sit on. Well, you can sit here and look out at the wilderness. Hello, world. We're still here. The fool in the White House hasn't killed us all yet. We still have another year or so. We'll see what happens. So I found a cool feather. Look at that. Now there's an old wise tale that if you find a feather, somebody's going to die. So I certainly hope that's not the case. And just to play it safe, I'm going to take this home with me. Because this is a cool find. Beautiful feather, look at that. I don't know what it goes to. Was it a hawk? It's a big feather. Is it an eagle feather? There are eagle nests around here. If anybody knows what this is, let me know. I wants to know. I'll probably take a picture of it and do a image search on Google. So I'm going to put this in my hat so I don't lose it. And anyway, there we go. It's in a safe place, I hope. And we're cruising along, still walking through the woods. Thorn Craig Bird Sanctuary in Lewiston, Maine, run by the Stanton Bird Club. They do a good job. And it's one of those things where we saw that sleeping bag, some people camping out and partying, and I hate to see that because that is what ruins places like this. They come through here every year and they clean up all the trash and they groom the place. So that will be taken care of, but you know, the point is somebody did that and that's terrible. So anyway, yeah, this is that monument that is here. It says Volunteer Memorial. At this, the highest point in Lewiston, 516 feet, 2 inches. The Stanted Bird Club gratefully honors all volunteers, past, present, and future, who have made and continue to make Thorncrag Nature Sanctuary a special place open to all. Thorncrag Centennial 2022. And you have a compass on the top. And north is that a ways. Which is good to have that, because I, like most men, get lost and don't know where the hell I'm going. So, anyway, we're going to head off northeast. And I want to thank people for watching the channel. And subscribe if you like it, things like that. And I really do enjoy doing these. And I'm going to let this record as we walk through the rest of this. If anything pops in my head, I'll say so. But I'd like to get a full walkthrough and not stop it at 20 minutes. And if you don't like what I'm recording, or I can just turn it off. That's okay. And so it really is nice and peaceful here. And we'll see where it leads us. Hoping to walk 7 miles today. Oh, excuse me. So, other things to talk about. The ATF Pistol Brace Ban. Well, that was shot down by a federal judge. And that is going to be appealed by the Biden administration. For some reason, they honestly feel that pistol braces are a big threat because they were used in one mass shooting in California. And I'm sure veterans that were in a Humvee accident and have only the use of one arm are not very happy about that, because they need that pistol brace because they can't hold and shoot a rifle. So it's I don't think they should have done that. That was just feel-good stuff to let their voters know that they're being proactive. And they pick dumb things like that, like ghost guns, pistol braces, and the current AR ban, I forgot what state, the court ruled on that and said that it did not infringe on Second Amendment rights. So I'm sure that's going to be appealed also. Eventually, all of this stuff's going to go to the Supreme Court. And it's going to come down to that Bruin decision, which is, the key word is common use items. And the AR format has been around for a long time. Millions of people own them, and they're in common use. And the amount of people that own them, comparable to the amount of damage being done by them, is minimal. You know, there's been 500 and something mass shootings recorded throughout the 70s, 80s, up until now. Real mass shootings. I'm not talking about these gang shootouts they pad the list with. Oh, 200 and whatever shootouts this year, mass shootings. That's nonsense. And in a courtroom, that wouldn't apply. That just sounds good with the media and fear-mongering young people. I've actually seen people online talk about, I talk about a firearm I own or something, and they just openly say, oh my God, I don't know how you can do that. Those scare me so much. And they have been bamboozled by mega doses of propaganda. And they always latch on to the same thing. Fear. It's always fear, fear, fear. Don't vote for Republicans. They're racist. They're Nazis. Democracy as we know it will end if they win. So everything is fear, fear, fear. Because that's what the liberal Democrat voter is susceptible to, because let's face it, people are soft now. And they don't think for themselves. They're easily influenced. And that's what the Democrats want. They want obedient voters. You know? And that's what they're getting. So they did win some elections recently that surprises me that they won. And the Republicans need to get rid of Ronna McDaniel, which is, I call her Ronna McRomney, because she's related to Mitt Romney, Mittens. And tying my shoe. You get to watch me retie my shoe. I love these boots. They're warm and waterproof. But when you walk, they don't stay tied until you do it a second time. After I tie them a second time, these should stay tied. And now that they said that, they probably won't. But you can go ahead and laugh at me for that if you want to. So anyway, that is the situation we are in. So what do we use? If they manage to ban assault-style rifles and assault weapons, which I really hate calling them that. It's an awful term that doesn't exist. It's made up. But let's say they succeed, okay? All they would need is a Democrat majority in Congress, and they would need the Senate majority in the upper chamber of Congress, which they could get, and they would need the presidency, the trifecta. If they ever get the trifecta and it's a healthy advantage, that's it. All bets are off. You can damn well bet your ARs are going to be gone. They might even throw in my Mini 14, AK-47s, definitely. And that is where we're at. You cannot sit back and do nothing and not say anything. You have to be vocal. You need to tell these people, I don't care if they're a Democrat or Republican, that if you do this, I am never voting for you. I will do all I can to make sure you lose the next election. I will start a campaign online. I am going to go after you publicly for stealing our rights. And you need to do that. And they need to know you're going to do that. But don't threaten them. Don't be menacing. Don't be angry. Just tell them honestly that's what you're going to do. Because if you did vote for them and they changed on it, tell them, look, I voted for you and what you're doing is horrible. This isn't right. This isn't going to solve a mental health problem, which is what the mass shootings are. Everybody knows that looks at it logically with sanity. And so be proactive. Don't be silent. Don't be silent on the internet. Don't get into these big wars with these leftist liberals on the internet. They are never going to change their mind. You're just fighting for nothing. It's not going to accomplish anything. In some ways, that's actually what they want you to do. But what you need to do is you need to go after the politicians that support it and be very, very vocal about it with family, friends, at work. You need to change minds in person. And even if they're not going to admit that that's what they're going to do, okay, well, you made sense to me. Most people aren't going to admit that, but they will take something you said with them and think about it. So if you weren't abrasive to them and you talk to them like a rational human being, even if they got passionate and upset with you, most people would feel bad about that later and actually think about your reasoning and what you said when you weren't there to contribute. So you need to keep that in mind. And that's psychology. That's, you know, nobody likes to be talked down to. Nobody likes anybody that's arrogant. Nobody likes anybody that calls them an a-hole. Nothing that person says will be adhered to. Nothing. I would never listen to anybody like that, and neither would you. So 100% of the people online that you're aggressive with and call names and fight with and say derogatory things will never listen to what you have to say. So they don't like to have the word socialist or communist referenced with them because they don't feel like they are. They feel like they're being democratic, and they just want a one-party kind of thing because they just know better for the country than you do. You know, you're too stupid to know this, so they're going to take it upon themselves to run your life for you. And that is socialism and communism. They just don't like to admit that, which is why in every other breath they mention the Constitution, founding fathers, democracy. People like Pelosi, every speech they give, they always mention that. The founding fathers, the Constitution, democracy, democracy, democracy. But we're going to ban this, that, and the other thing and take your rights away. But that's democracy. This is best. This keeps a healthy, robust democracy. And in some ways, they are very good with their message with key demographics in key areas that they need to win. And don't underestimate the liberal leftists, calling them idiots and dumbasses, and they're not. They are very smart people, well-financed. They know what they're doing, and they've been successful. Look at these protests that have been going on against Israel. Anybody with any common sense knows that that was a severe, horrible terrorist attack. Really doesn't have much to do with Palestine, other than Palestine was supporting Hamas and giving them a base to operate out of. And, you know, they kneeled in prayer, being grateful to God for all the people they killed. So Israel is a sovereign nation. They are going to defend themselves like we would if people crossed the Texas border into a major city and killed a couple thousand people. Now look at what happened after 9/11, you know? So, to put that in perspective, there's nothing wrong with defending your nation and your people. And it's been turned into a political leftist versus right-wing type of thing as I carefully traverse this wet rocks with wet leaves. This is a very most dangerous part on the walk here. You can see this rock right here with those, any one of these patches of leaves could come out because it's a steep incline, as you can see. So when you're walking down, gravity is working against you. I would not go this way in the wintertime if there was snow and ice. So that is going to be off my list, which is another reason why these walks are really going to start going away soon at the regularity. And, you know, as I mentioned, my boot is coming untied again. So, anyway, you know, this horrible thing that happened is a horrible thing that happened. It has to be faced and dealt with. And the politics of it are as they are. And it's really unfortunate because, you know, I'm talking about it on here, but I'm staying neutral with it because YouTube censors people, and we know that. So, but you know how you feel about it, one way or the other. And chances are, if you're here watching a video about a woods hike and gun talk, I already know what your political thoughts on that are. All right, we're going to check. Let's see. Oh, wow. 58% of the battery left. I'm very surprised by that. Well, I'm just going to record while I walk through here until I'm done walking through here. And anyway, down this way is Whale Rock, which I'm not going to go see because really it's not very exciting. This sign is more interesting than the actual Whale Rock. It's just a big rock that's naturally in the ground where the head kind of resembles a whale. So, a sperm whale. So anyway, this is one of my favorite areas to walk through here because there's usually running water and streams you have to jump over, but I think they might cause those to run here And I say that because they're not running right now. But it's hard to say with all the rain we had, and it has not been raining as much. And I like walking on these rocks, which are green and slimy, and I gotta be careful not to smash my shin or something, so I can go shooting tomorrow. Been shooting a lot of 22 LR recently. Really fun round to shoot, because you get different vehicles to shoot them in. We got revolvers, rifles, semi-auto pistols, 1911s that shoot 22, and they're a lot of fun. And the other thing they do is they inadvertently teach newer shooters how to deal with jam-ups. And in fact, I was shooting a brand of ammo that was just one of the lesser expensive, lesser powerful, a Gia, and they weren't running the semi-automatic 1911 very well. Every round was getting a stovepipe, but I was using it as practice, where if you have a jam, and what you do is you tap like this, rack, and then bang. That will clear 90% of your firearm jams, unless you did something to double feed it. Then you got to take the magazine out, knock the round out, put the magazine back in, rack a new round. But in a self-defense situation, you go tap, rack, bang. So if your gun jams up while you're defending yourself, that should save you, because in videos of that, when people do that, it almost looks like when they rack the gun, they're swiping their hand and knocking the stovepipe out. But it's not. The momentum of sliding the slide will clear a stovepipe just by the design of the pistol, inertia, and it's tried and true. That's what the pros do. So I hear something walking through the woods. Is that a person or is that a manimal? I just saw something. I saw something go by. Don't know what it was. It looked gray. I can still hear it. See if I can get some video of it. I always see a lot of deer in here. I heard two different rustlings. Now I'm not hearing it. I think it went through here because I saw it behind these two trees. I saw a brief glimpse of gray, like a gray tail. And it went through that way. It was over this hump down in that ravine. But anyway, I'm gonna walk on. Maybe we'll see something. I've seen a lot of deer walking through here. And actually, I still need to upload that deer video. I got like the really most awesome deer video. I need to upload that it was really cool because she had her baby deer with her. And that little baby deer came out of the brush right up to me, like 2 to 3 feet away from me. And it was like the coolest thing ever. And I got it on video. It was awesome. I was even using an iPhone that had a battery that wasn't keeping its charge. It was starting to die, which has since been fixed. But at the time, I felt really lucky to get it. Everything timed perfectly while I had it out to record. I was just walking through the woods like I do with this. And there it was. Mama deer was in a distance watching me, hoping I wouldn't hurt her baby. And it was nice. I need to upload that video. So anyway, I'm gonna finish up the woods walk here. Walk on these stones because this is all muddy. All right. This is the area that I've seen a bunch of wild turkeys. There was like a dozen of them walking through the woods. And they saw me and they took off. So I don't see any right now. So we're gonna go up here and walk through here. You can see how this keeps you in shape. This is a pretty steep incline. And right now I'm breathing well. At the beginning of this video, I just started walking. And you have to wait for your body to acclimate. And now I'm breathing nicely. I don't see any turkeys. So anyway, beautiful day today. Nice day for a walk. And oh, there's somebody walking right there. She's power walking. I see her. So, going through here. Hello. Whew, a lot of work. No, it's not bad. No, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's not bad. Well, she doesn't like to walk on water. All right, now we'll go through here. I didn't go this way the last walk. There's this nice, nice wood crossing bridge here. In June, it's beautiful because there's green ferns all over this. It's like a whole ocean of green ferns, but they're all dried up now. Everything is brown and moss covered like that log. That looks cool though. And anyway, it is pretty out here. I'm gonna walk across here. Looks like somebody has scored this. Either so people can see it or to have some traction when you're walking, I'm guessing. That's new. Well, that was fun. Okay, so I'm 10 years old. What do you want from me? So walking up through here. This is the infamous deer tick field and poison ivy. So they mowed it. They leave it unmowed all summer on purpose because birds eat ticks. And it's a bird sanctuary. So this is their feeding ground, as you can see with those bird boxes. And as you can see, this poison ivy, dog ticks, and deer ticks. I had one tick on me this year from when we went shooting, from where we go shooting. And I had gone up behind my shoulder blade and find a nice little place to sit and drink my blood. Oh, excuse me. But the thing is it gorged itself and was huge, and I started feeling shoulder pain. You know, kind of like moving my shoulder around, like, oh my God, what's that? I didn't feel it until I went to rub on the door frame to scratch my back. I'm like, what the hell is that? Some kind of freaking growth on my back or something. That was a tick. So I got some needle nose pliers, positioned 2 mirrors so I can look in one of them. Stuck my arm up behind my back with needle nose pliers and grabbed the tick. Tried to get as good a grip on his head as I could, and left some of his head in there, which you don't want to do because you can get infected. So I made another attempt at it, and I finally got the head. But he had been in there for 2 days, and that's what you don't want to do, because that's the amount of time it takes to end up getting Lyme disease and things like that if they are infected. But that happened in July, and we're now in November. So I think it's safe to assume, as we look at that bench underneath that apple tree, so it's nice out here. I'm gonna get through the rest of Thorn Craig and then stop this recording. So I'm gonna sign off and say thank you for watching. I'll just let it record for my next little way. And thank you for watching, subscribing, click like. And try to have a bunch of different things on the channel. And so your patronage, stopping by to visit, means a lot to me. I don't make money on it. So, excuse me. Have a beautiful day and enjoy the rest of my walk. Yes, I gotta tie my boot again. Gotta move it down to the lower notch. I'm not walking through 2 feet of snow. So I'm kind of anxious to see how this GoPro records in linear mode with the horizontal correction. Walking through the woods here. That's really one of the main features we wanted for this, because walking where we shoot, shooting video of shooting, and stabilization will correct any distortions from shooting and things like that. We've seen a lot of video online that people shoot with a GoPro shooting. So we're looking forward to those same kind of results. And so we'll see what we get for results with it. And if you should still be watching at this point, there's probably something wrong with you. But certainly something wrong with me, so par for the course. And I like this time of year walking through here because during the summertime, sometimes you run into 5 or 6 people. People that go jogging through here, hiking, etc. And this time of year, it's quiet. There's nobody. I just saw that one person, older lady, who was just doing this for exercise. She was doing some power walking there until she saw me. So she's trying to stay out of the box, you know what I mean? People spend their time in life trying to stay out of the box. Not the penalty box. The box. Like the last final box. Which we're all going to end up in anyway, so it's kind of a futile effort. Well, I don't know what these boxes are, but as you can see on them, it says Maine Medical Center, 207-396-8246. I don't know what these boxes were used for, but these boxes were placed out in the woods here for the last 3 months, and now we look at them. So I have no idea why the medical center would have those boxes here. Very strange. Hi, little chipmunk. Hi. Little chipmunk foraging around, waiting for winter. Now we're coming out of the woods walk. I hear some more chipmunks running about. All right. I don't think we'll see any ducks this time. Saw ducks over here once. My last walk, actually. There was 2 ducks being ducky, doing what ducks do, ducking around. So this is that spot here that freezes early. We've played ice hockey on this as early as Thanksgiving before. As soon as it starts getting freezing cold at night, which is any day now, this will start freezing over. A pretty good size area to play hockey on. Looks like it won't be too bad. A few sticks sticking up, but good place to stick handle and practice. So then over here we have one of those big towers up there. Cell tower. And this is the reservoir here. So I'm gonna